Hi, everybody, and welcome to the ASMP Philadelphia podcast, episode number 1 for December 2011. I'm your host, Anthony Sinagoga. My guest for today's episode is John Welsh. John is a current member of the ASMP Philadelphia board and was largely responsible for overseeing the redesign of the new ASMPphilly.com website. Today we'll discuss the updates and changes to the websites, as well as the new benefits for the ASMP Philly members. I started by asking John to give us a little background as to how the website got to be where it is today.
Our current site, actually it's not current anymore, our new site is now live. But our previous site, it was built by the guys at SiteWelder, and they did a really nice job integrating the portfolios that we had for our members. But it was done such a long time ago, and the web has changed so much that it was time to build a community site, an actual community, so we can have that interaction and have things like a podcast.
Yeah, no, it seems that with this new site, there are a lot more ways that members can interact with each other. The site has gone through a tremendous upgrade, and there's some neat new features with it. Why don't we go through some of the new features, what members can expect in the new site? I guess the biggest thing for members is how easy it is to upgrade their portfolio.
Yeah, that was the main goal of this site redesign, was to enable our chapter members to update their own portfolios whenever they like to. In the past, we would have twice a year updates, and what would happen is they would send whoever was doing the web at that point in time, who was on the board, they would receive emails and with new photographs, new images, and they would have to upload the images through SiteWelder, and then they would become live on our site.
And that was a lot of work, and oftentimes that person had to resize the image and do a lot of work to prepare the image for the web. And it was only, like you said, twice a year, and if you missed it, you had to wait another 6 months for it to come around. You were stuck with the images you had up there. Now it's a lot easier for folks to go in there and manage their portfolio at any time.
Yeah, that's the goal. Currently, on Find a Photographer, that's found that it's located at asmp.org, which is the national site. That's the place where members can manage all their information, their basic account information, their payment, their dues, all of that, plus their portfolios. So we're actually able to take that portfolio, it's a database feed of images, and we can post that within our Philly site, which is a brand new idea for us.
Yeah, and that in and of itself is a huge upgrade. Just to have more control over what images you have up there under the Find a Photographer feature of the site. I think that's huge for members.
It is, and they can update it once a day. I mean, they can update it once a month. They can update it once a year. So that freedom is really helpful.
Yeah, no, it puts the control in their hands, which is great. How about some other changes to the site that will benefit members directly?
Well, we should probably continue with talking about the portfolios, and our former site, we're one of the few chapters that gave associate and general members portfolios. And that changed a little bit, meaning once we switched to the national system of portfolios, associate members didn't have a portfolio. Since then, we have a new membership category, Associate Plus. And they're able to have one portfolio built into their membership automatically. They can buy additional ones, I think. But so we still have General and Associate Plus members that are able to have portfolios on ASMPphilly.com.
Yeah, well, that's nice, as opposed to other chapters where just a general member is able to have a portfolio. At least now it's Associate Plus and general members.
Correct.
Another feature of the new site is the larger images on the homepage and how they rotate. Why don't you talk for a little bit about that, John?
Sure. Again, looking back at our previous site, we had a front page image that was it came from our own collection of images that was on ASMPphilly.com. It was a lot smaller because back then, when it was designed, the web was smaller, and so were monitors. So we had a smaller image, and it suited us fine for the time period. But now we decided to have our opening page a fairly large image, and it'll be, again, member images that rotate. Now, one of the things that I encourage every member to do is to update their images to the larger size that national the national site, ASMP.org, lets us use. If you size images to the right dimensions, I think it's maximum of 1024 by 768. All this information is on ASMP.org. But if you resize them and upload them, and they're of the larger size, you're guaranteed a spot in the rotation on the new ASMPphilly.com.
If the images you have up there are smaller, they won't be included in the new homepage rotation.
Correct, at least on the front page.
Okay.
They'll still be in Find a Photographer, so you'll always be able to be found. But they won't. Because of our design, if we had smaller images uploaded and to enlarge them to their correct size, they would fall apart. They wouldn't look very good. Yeah.
So that is a good point. So members should log on to the ASMP.org site where they manage their account and upload larger files, and the information is right up there on the ASMP.org site, and that will ensure that your pictures are in the homepage rotation as well as Find a Photographer and a lot of the sub pages.
Right. Our sub pages, we're using vertical images, so make sure you have a few of them in there as well. But so that's another added feature that we didn't talk about yet, was not only does the front page image rotate some of our interior pages, they will also rotate. And it's a little bit different format on each, so it's more of a vertical image, but if you have a mix of both, that should guarantee you placement on either area.
That's good advice to update the size of the images and have a combination of verticals and horizontals, and that'll just increase your chances of your image popping up as people are navigating through the site.
Right, exactly.
And all those changes are made at the ASMP.org national level database.
Correct. Yeah, that's the main thing we want to make clear, is all the portfolio changes are still done at ASMP.org.
So the new ASMPphilly.com site is tied into the ASMP.org national database, and that's how it's pulling these images.
That's correct.
Okay, that's good. That's important for people to understand, so they can maximize it and get the best benefit out of it.
Right. I think something else now is when we'll confuse people, but we'll try this anyway, is separate from logging into ASMP.org to manage your images. Our members can log in and create an account and be able to post their events in our calendar. So it's a separate login, but and all this information is only going to be found on ASMPphilly.com. But it gives us another outlet. So when people come to the site, they can see what our members are doing. Right now in our calendar, we have chapter events and community events, and we'll have a section for member events.
So that's a good point. So folks will go to the ASMPphilly.com, and they can log into that local chapter site and then submit calendar events and any news. That then shoots an email to some of the administrators behind the scenes, and they approve the content, and then it appears dynamically in the site.
That's correct.
Okay,
that's
nice. That's another huge upgrade, as opposed to just shooting off an email somewhere and it getting lost in the shuffle. This is a better way for folks to get the word out if they're having an opening or they've published a book, some kind of news you want the chapter to know about. That's done all at the ASMPphilly.com site on the local chapter level.
Yes, it is. It is, and that's our goal. Again, to build. Now that with the explosion of social media and all these other things that the web has turned into, we all think that our site should change accordingly, and that was the goal of it, to become a community site. Yes, sure, it represents us as an organization, but why not reach out to the community at large, because they're the ones that hire us and that hopefully need us.
So just as a recap of the new website. It's definitely more user-friendly to the members, much easier to update your portfolio images as often as you'd like, and that's done at the ASMP.org national level. And at the local level, the ASMPphilly.com, if you log into that site, it is 2 logins. But if you log into the local ASMPphilly.com, you can then submit news and upcoming events that will then appear on the Philly chapter site. One of the ways we're celebrating the new launch, not only with a podcast here, but with a party in December.
Right. We had a holiday party last year, and in the past, the Creative Guide held parties. And last year we realized, Creative Guide is not holding a party, so we better have one. So at the last minute, we threw together a party. We had the Art Directors Club come. We had MMA, which is the talent agency. They came, and we had probably 200 people.
That's nice.
Crammed into a basement bar on Broad Street. So it really was a great party. This year we're going to do it a little bit differently. It's still going to be a holiday party, but since the timing came together perfectly, we're going to use this party to announce the new website, and we're going to have several iMacs there. We'll have a screen, and we're inviting basically the people we want to work for, and we want to connect with the art directors, the art buyers, the creative directors. So that's our target, but it's still going to be a holiday party. So it's an interesting way of reaching out.
That's nice. It's a nice way to include the larger community. It's a nice way to mingle with some of these folks that hopefully, ideally, would be hiring local photographers. Celebrate the holidays. It's happening in December, as well as a launch party for the new site here. So there's a lot happening, and it's a fun event. I mean, in years past, it's always great. It's nice to be hanging out with like-minded folk, and it's going to be taking place on December 8th, right? I think it's a Thursday.
Right. It's a Thursday night, December 8th, and that's at Triumph Brewing Company, and all the information it's being sent out over several emails over the next few weeks. It'll give you a link to register, and all the details are on that. But definitely register so we have a head count.
Yeah,
that'll help us.
That's helpful. So it's Thursday, December 8th at Triumph Brewery in Old City.
It's in Old City. It's on Chestnut Street between Front and Second.
Okay, and rumor has it there's an open bar for 2 hours also.
Yes, I heard the same thing.
Okay, good. Yeah, it should be a fun night, and nice to come out and see other members, see other people in the larger creative industry in the city, and maybe check out the new site.
Yeah, that's our goal. And please, when you hear this podcast, go explore the new site, and and any questions, use our contact form. You can get in touch with any of us.
It's important for us to let members know what to expect from this podcast. We are planning on producing a show once a month, and the show can take on a variety of flavors. There will always be some chapter news to let folks know what other members are up to and what the chapter itself is up to. We'd love to have member interviews. So if folks are working on a project that you'd like to come on and talk about, you published a book, you have a nice exhibition somewhere, that would be great for us to interview you and help you promote that. There will be hopefully interviews with sponsors and maybe some incentives from sponsors if they're having a deal for ASMP members, and ways for sponsors to tell us about their services, make sure folks know everything that they can help our members out with. There may be reviews, not so much gear reviews, but maybe resource reviews. If you're using a service that you think other photographers may benefit from knowing about, that's a good way to drop us a line, and we'll get you on the show and tell us about a new idea or a new service that you're using that's maybe making your business run a little smoother. Other than that, if you have any ideas or topics, show suggestions, you can always send us an email right from the website, from the contact form at ASMPphilly.com. I think that's going to do it for this first episode of the ASMP Philly podcast. It's exciting for us to have started this, and we always want to hear your feedback, not only on the podcast itself, but again, show ideas, topics, or people that may be interesting interviews for our members to listen to. So please drop us a line right from the website at ASMPphilly.com. I should say the newly designed and fully functional website at ASMPphilly.com. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks, John, for taking some time to chat with us about the new site, and hopefully everyone will be at the party on December 8th, and we'll see you there. If not, we will see you in January with our next show in early January.